Welcome to God's Powerful Son, your GPS, with directions to eternity, using references from the Life Application Study Bible, NIV. Here's your host, David Brower, a true believer.
Thanks, Ellen. This is David Brower, reminding you that you don't need to take notes on this podcast, as the complete transcript is in the Our Blog section at gps2eternity.com. In this edition of Your GPS to Eternity, we are introducing you to Haggai. Pressures, demands, expectations, and tasks push in from all sides and assault our schedules, right? Do this, be there, finish that, call them. Everyone seems to want something from us. Family, friends, employers, schools, churches, clubs. Soon, we have little left to give as we run out of energy and time. We find ourselves rushing through life, attending to the necessary, the immediate, and the urgent. The important is all too often left in the dust. Our problem is not the volume of demands or lack of scheduling skills, but values. What is truly important to us? Sound familiar? Our values and priorities are reflected in how we use our resources, time, money, strength, and talents. Often our actions belie our words. We say God is number one, but then we relegate Him to a lesser number on our to-do lists. 25 centuries ago, a voice was heard, calling men and women to the right priorities. Haggai, the first of the post-exilic prophets, knew what was important and what had to be done, and he challenged God's people to respond. In 586 BC, the armies of Babylon had destroyed the temple in Jerusalem, God's house, the symbol of His presence. In 538 BC, King Cyrus decreed that Jews could return to their beloved city and rebuild the temple. So they traveled to Jerusalem and began the work. But then they forgot their purpose and lost their priorities as opposition and apathy brought the work to a standstill. Ezra 4:4-5. Then Haggai spoke of God, calling them back to God's values. Is it a time for you yourselves to be living in your paneled houses while this house remains a ruin? Haggai 1:4. The people were more concerned with their own needs than with doing God's will, and as a result, they suffered. Then Haggai called them to action. This is what the Lord Almighty says: Give careful thought to your ways. Go up into the mountains and bring down timber and build my house, so that I may take pleasure and be honored, says the Lord. Haggai 1:7-8. And God's message through His servant Haggai became the catalyst for finishing the work. Although Haggai is a small book in the Bible, it is filled with challenge and promise, reminding us of God's claim on our lives and our priorities. As you take the time to read Haggai, and I hope you will, imagine him walking the streets and alleys of Jerusalem, urging the people to get back to doing God's work. And listen to Haggai speaking to you, urging you to reorder your priorities in accordance with God's will. What has God told you to do? Put all else aside and obey Him. We invite you to visit the Prayer Request tab on our website and let us know how we can be praying for you. If you ever have any suggestions or comments regarding what we share with you each week, just click on the Contact Us tab, also at gps2eternity.com. Until next time, this is David Brower, asking you to remember that God's powerful Son is your GPS, providing you with directions to eternity.
You've been listening to God's Powerful Son, your GPS, with directions to eternity. Now you can find us using your voice command on Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, Cortana, and Bixby. Just say GPS to eternity. New podcasts with transcripts are available every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time at gps2eternity.com. Thank you for listening, and may God bless you and your family.